One of the things, if we're going to do this correctly in the future, it would be nice, of course there's nothing in place to do this right now, but we should decide amongst ourselves, amongst all conservatives, who we want to be speaker. Long before the election, way before the primaries even. And then when we have a candidate who wants to be congressman, one of the questions we can ask him then is, for whom will you vote for speaker? Yeah, I know you say this, you're that, you're pro-gun, pro-this, pro everything, you sound wonderful. But if you're going to vote for this rhino for speaker, maybe we're not too interested. Right now, a lot of the things they do are by seniority and, all this kind of stuff. And we just basically have to put an end to that. We have to get the candidates to work for us from now on and not us working for them. See, right now they basically just use us. We're here to get them elected. And, many of them are just professionals. Many of them are royals. They think of themselves as royalty. So we have a state central committee and a county central committee. And if we really want to get the speaker's gavel, then we have to get the gavels in the state central committee as well, because it's the state central committee that makes endorsements prior to the primaries. And those endorsed candidates almost always win. That's just the way it is. So if we control that committee, if we control the state central committee, then we get to endorse the candidates. And then our candidates will almost always win. And of course, if we get out the vote in the precincts the way we're supposed to, we'll always win.
And then why do you say never split a vote?
Well, it's coalition busting again. If the coalition doesn't stick together, then you don't win the gavel. And so if you split a vote, yeah, everything's about the coalition or party. We call it, the Democrat Party and the Republican Party, but they're really just coalitions that are formed for one purpose, and that's to get that gavel. And this is never talked about. You'll never hear this talked about on the news. From time to time you'll hear them talk about Pelosi or Reid, but they'll never really tell you how they got that job or all the steps that it took, years and years of coalition building and all the planning, all the running of dinos or conservative Democrats and conservative districts. This just happened where my parents used to live in Pennsylvania District 8. Couldn't believe it. There was a fair Republican running for Congress. He wasn't really super conservative. But they found, Nancy Pelosi and her crew, they found this really super conservative Democrat, and they ran him and he won. And he voted for her. That's just the way it works. So we have to stop being fooled by these tricks. We can't split the vote, and that's what I'm talking about. All these wonderful conservative people in Pennsylvania voted for this guy, and they ended up with Speaker Pelosi because I'll bet you most of them didn't even know the very first vote he made in Congress was for Speaker Pelosi. They probably think the speaker drops out of the sky. Where does the speaker come from? Who knows? Nobody ever tells anybody. It's a 2-year cycle. You got a primary and a general. Then as soon as the general's over, you're working on a primary again. And in the primary, for the candidates at the top of the ticket, you vote for the most you try to get the most conservative guy in there, even if he's not endorsed. Chances are you're not going to beat the endorsement, though. So, at the same time, we try to get more of our folks into the Central Committee. So the next primary, our guy is the endorsed guy. So you vote, actually, if you're only going to vote for one person on that ballot in a primary, vote for a conservative for precinct executive. That's the highest office in the land. That's another brochure, by the way. Yeah, again, one of the questions we just got to keep asking candidates for the legislature is who are you going to vote for speaker? Speaker is the most important thing. And of course, it all comes back to our party as well, our coalition. The state central committee, the county central committee. Who holds the gavel there? The county central committee has a chairman. The state central committee has a chairman. They wield a lot of power as far as who's going to get endorsed. Well, there's our favorite person, by the way. And what is she holding and why is she smiling? Because she knows something that we don't. That gavel is what gives them the power to do everything they're doing to us right now. And they never talk about this on the news. I never learned this in school. And most politicians don't want you to know about it either, because they don't know. You know, they want to basically use you instead of you taking control and running your own people for Congress.